Hey guys, welcome to PhoneRadar. This is Chetan and today we are going to do the review of the Lava's Iris X8 smartphone. A smartphone that has been launched in the budget range, although having a very good octa-core processor. That's the MT6592 processor from MediaTek. And along with that we have 2 gigs of RAM, and this device comes with a 5-inch IPS display on the front. That's with the 720p resolution. And the design resembles something that we had seen earlier from Lava, that's the Iris X1. Although X5 that came after the X1 had a 5 megapixel front facing camera, it had a different kind of design, but here you would see the same metallic design on the side, which again resembles the Apple iPhone previous generation phones, and that is where you see the metallic kind of finish on the sides. Though this is not a metal body that we are seeing here, it's totally plastic, but still that gives it a bit of premium design. So starting off with the specifications, this has a 5-inch 720p display and then an octa-core processor from MediaTek clocking at 1.4 GHz, 2 GB of RAM, and on the back there's an 8 megapixel camera. On the front 3 megapixel camera has been given. It has the same set of sensors that you would usually see on any budget phone, and there's a 2500 mAh battery that isn't user replaceable, although the back cover can be pulled out. And there is a dual SIM device with the 2 micro SIM card slots and a micro SD card slot for the storage expansion if the 8 GB of internal storage isn't enough for the user. So this was all about the specifications. This phone is available at a price of rupees around 9,000, and for that price getting all these specs is not very much common. But again, we have been seeing a very good inflow of budget devices with good specifications in the recent times, thanks to the Chinese brands such as Xiaomi and U from Micromax, that's with the U Eureka smartphone. Those have been coming with good specifications, but this one isn't bad either, although it has a MediaTek chipset. So let's talk about the phone. This is a plastic build, and this phone feels quite heavy for the 5-inch screen that you can see here, because U Eureka with a 5.5-inch display has a lighter body than this one, and this is quite heavy. And this is the white unit with a very smooth back, and this, although doesn't take any fingerprints, it is prone to have some smudges on occasional basis. And on the back you can see a speaker wheel towards the bottom, and this aesthetically set because the speaker doesn't extend from the left to the right, it's only till the center, but it is there as a grill for the looks. There's an Iris X8 branding in the center, and towards the top it's 8 megapixel camera with a dual LED flash, and the back cover is removable. It's the same plastic back, and now under that you would see a 2500 mAh non-removable battery. Above that are 3 slots, 2 for the SIM cards, micro SIM cards. One is WCDMA 3G and the other is GSM 2G SIM card, and there's a micro SD card slot for the storage expansion. We tried using a 32 GB micro SD card and that worked perfectly. Now on the right are the physical buttons, that's the power button and the volume rockers. On the top is this micro USB port, as well as a 3.5mm headset jack and a secondary microphone for the noise cancellation. On the left there is nothing, and towards the bottom you can see a primary microphone located just below the screen. On the front there's an Asahi glass protection that's given for the 5-inch 720p display here, and there are sensors as well as the earpiece and a 3 megapixel camera on the top. The touch sensitive buttons for the navigation are below the screen and they aren't a part of the screen. So now talking about the display, it has some good viewing angles, the brightness is quite good, and the readability is also pretty neat under the sunlight, but still the screen is pretty reflective, and that is where you might see it a bit hard to read the content when there are light sources behind you. And the only problem with the display in the Lava Iris X8 is its color reproduction. There is a lot of saturation seen with most of the colors, and although the wallpaper that I'm using right now has some dull colors, it is okay. But when you talk of some greens or some shiny blue, that would come up a bit more than what you would expect from a normal screen. So that is an issue with the display. Other than that, this is a perfect 720p display with very good viewing angles and also the readability. The Lava Iris X8 runs Android 4.4.2 KitKat, and that's the stock ROM. So that's again a good thing with this smartphone, that you don't have any glitches with the interface because it's a stock UI, and there are no compromises with the quality of the performance. And Lava hasn't given a lot of bloatware, because what you see here is the backup and restore application, and Facebook file manager, flashlight, FM radio, Office Suite, and My Notes. These are the apps apart from the Google Play Services applications if you talk of the pre-installed application. So there's no thing to worry about the bloatware. No storage is wasted by Lava in giving any unnecessary applications to the user. And this is the 16 GB unit, because in the beginning of the review I had mistakenly told that it's 8 GB, it's 16 GB one. So there's no worry about the storage as well. And there's a micro SD card slot, so you can have the expandable storage with the micro SD and external USB storage. So this is important, because while on the go you can use the USB OTG drive, and that would work perfectly with the Lava Iris X8. So this was the interface. There are the standard notification panels and the quick settings sections. So you see the profiles, owner, and the connectivity options, air shuffle, data connection, auto rotation, and cast screen. So a lot of options are given by Lava in the Android 4.4.2 KitKat, and we aren't sure about the Lollipop update in this smartphone for the future. The next thing is about the camera on this one. It's an 8 megapixel camera, and what we felt for an 8 megapixel camera is a very good quality that we are seeing here, because usually what we expect from an 8 megapixel shooter is a good color reproduction at least, and in both natural and artificial lights. On zooming in there should be good quality, and that is what reflects here, because under both the conditions it was pretty neat, and on low light it was expectedly not that good, and there were a lot of grains, and sometimes on a bit more lower light conditions you would see the image not being perfectly focusing at all. And for the video recording as well, the shakes were pretty evident, because there is no way the software and hardware of the camera is optimized for the stabilization and such. So there are shakes noticed, and still the video recording, if at all, is stably taken. It is all good. Next one, coming to the performance, that is one of the most important parts, because this is the octa-core smartphone with the MT6592 processor. And for the performance, I actually loved it a lot, because there was not a time in the last couple of weeks when I saw the phone failing to open an application in quick pace. It was always good with the multitasking, and the smartphone never was slow in response. Although just like MIUI, you might see the phone to be slow on pace for everything, so that's not unusual, because sometimes the entire interface is set at that speed, and that is what was evident here. And there was no slowing down on particular application or multitasking. It was all good on that as well as on gaming. The battery of 2500 mAh capacity was good enough to last for a day, but while I was doing the 3G connectivity test, and for a couple of hours on the go, it took down the battery percentage by around 45%. So that is a bit unacceptable, because the screen was turned on and there was data connectivity turned on. Still, the 2500 mAh battery should have done a bit more better than this, but that could be the reason of the 720p display taking up some of the load, and the heating was not much. So that is where the battery still could last for 5 to 6 hours on the data connectivity. On the other side, you see some budget smartphones coming with more battery capacity than this one, so that is where the Lava Iris X8 could not be the winner if you take battery into the count. And next is the call quality. The call was very good in quality. We had the earpiece and the speaker both tested, and there was no issues while talking on the phone, no doubling, and on the other side of the call there was no noise at all because of the noise cancellation, which was done pretty perfectly here. So everything is good. And for the media playing, the speakers on the back aren't that great, because a lot of noise was just covered up whenever the device was placed on a flat surface. So that is an issue always with the back speakers, and that cannot be rectified here. So the going by the speakers and the media playing, it's not the best of the devices. And so this was overall the review of the Lava Iris X8. This is one of the perfect smartphones, given that it comes in a price range of rupees 9,000, and for that you are getting a 5-inch display with the 720p resolution, of course, and an 8 megapixel camera, which does a very decent job in capturing photos in both natural and artificial light conditions. Next, the performance of the device has been pretty great, and the only issues that we had come up with during this test was the battery, which couldn't last up to what we expect from a 2500 mAh battery and next was the display, where the color saturation was not really good. So that was the review of the Lava Iris X8 smartphone, priced at Rs 9,000. So this is a pretty good thumbs up from our side for the Lava Iris X8 for that exact pricing of Rs 9,000. So do subscribe to the channel PhoneRadar and do like this video and share it, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.